So let me just say that there have been all three games that were won by 10 or more, that was decided by 10 or more points, and we could say last night's game was no different, except it was a lot different. Toronto Raptors pull off a Game 3 victory, beating Cleveland by 15 points, only allowing 84 points. That's the fewest game that Cleveland has scored in the postseason. Most games was like 90 or more points, but unfortunately, Cleveland fell below 90 points. And this is probably one of the first times, or the first time in the postseason to ever happen. This is their first loss in the postseason after running through the first two teams. Now it's like they got a challenge in their hands, especially with Toronto turning up the intensity. The first two games has been a disappointment. Toronto really, didn't turn up the intensity, didn't play with much effort, and now they have a game in their hands. So one thing I could say is that now with Game 4 set, we'll see how LeBron James and the team will turn up the intensity. How quick is that going to happen? Or what are they going to do to extinguish themselves to bring up the intensity that they're looking for? So that's what I'm kind of going to check out and see, because it could happen. So that's one thing I could say to that. So congratulations to Toronto. Biyombo pulls off a phenomenal 26-point rebound. DeMar DeRozan, the scoring leader. Corey Joseph, one of the best roles and best bench players in the game. Corey Joseph played very well with the shooting and stuff like that. So one advice I can give to Toronto, if I was their advisor or whatnot, keep the intensity up, because Cleveland's going to turn it up even harder. So with Cleveland, if they did, one problem they did have, if Cleveland did utilize Channing Frye, J.R. Smith a lot more, getting J.R. Smith open a lot more, the game would have been a lot closer, and Cleveland probably would have pull off the win and be up 3-0 in the series. Blessedly, that didn't happen, because then, well, actually, I wouldn't say blessedly, but either way, it could happen. If it would have been blessful if it did happen. Cleveland did pick up the win, so that way they have a better chance of going 11-0 and then going 12-0 in the postseason, heading to the finals undefeated. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen, but good thing for Toronto picking up the win. DeMar Carroll, making his second straight NBA Conference Finals appearance, and against LeBron James, who's also making his sixth straight Conference Finals appearance. Yeah, because since 2011, his fifth. And then DeMar Carroll making his sixth, and then DeMar Carroll making his second. So I'm excited about that. So one thing I could say is Biyombo was the highlight reel of the game. Another highlight reel. His defense was the highlight reel. His phenomenal 26 rebounding, and then his 4 blocks. My favorite highlight of the game was Kyrie Irving getting blocked by Bismack Biyombo. Biyombo was the highlight reel. Valanciunas would be the highlight reel, but unfortunately he is out and not playing. We'll see if Toronto can stretch the series out, so John Valanciunas could be the equalizer for the series. We'll see how, they turn up the heat. Toronto won by a lot more than I expected. I was hoping a 4 or 3-point game, but luckily they did win by more, because then it caught them a huge break for a big victory. So we'll see where it goes from there. And I gotta say, it was phenomenal. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed watching it, and I was watching it mostly the whole way through, and it was just completely incredible. That's what I gotta say to that. So kudos to Biyombo. Kyle Lowry was on his scoring game, because the first 2 games they were DeRozan and Lowry didn't combine for many points, but however, the Cavs in Game 1, and it's funny because in Game 1 the big 3, Kyrie, LeBron James, and Kevin Love, scored almost as much as the entire Toronto team, which was saying a lot. If you have 3 teams out of like 12, 11, 10 players, there is a problem. Because even though there are top franchise players on the team, however, top NBA franchise teams in the NBA, top franchise players in the NBA, then that's a problem. You're not turning up the intensity. So luckily, Kevin Love haven't had a huge off night. He only made 3 or 4 field goals. He was totally off that night. Kyrie Irving wasn't on his game. Quarter 3 was where they turned things up, but Toronto quickly shut it down, which was a complete surprise as well. So that's one thing I gotta say to that. So LeBron was probably one of the only ones who put on a great game, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to get the Cavs the victory or get them into even a closer game, let alone that. So that's what I gotta say to that. So that's just my quick 2 cents. Warriors and Thunder are gonna be playing tonight. I gotta say Golden State is gonna win this one. It's gonna be a close game. OKC had like a great intense, great season, but OKC has a great season, great playoff run. It's been surprising that OKC still beat San Antonio in 6. I thought it would be 7, but it would turn out to be 6. And then on top of that, now they are facing, Golden State Warriors, 73-9 Warriors. Warriors need to win this one. I don't want them to just get so many wins in the regular season and turn into nothing. They need to go to the finals and start translating that record. It's about time that happens. So that's what I gotta say to that. So I'll catch you guys later, and I'll talk about game 4 of the game 3 or 4 between Thunder and Warriors, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about the Extreme Rules pay-per-view and do reviews on that, even though I didn't state my predictions, but I'm going to do thoughts on that as well. So catch you on the flip. I'm out. Peace.